over here.
Awesome.
Hello, everybody! Welcome to another exciting episode of Drunk in Dread. I am your DM, or your drunken master, Billy McCoy. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the second episode. It feels like we've been doing this a lot longer, but I'm very excited to be back. Thank you all so much from everybody at the Plaster Dragon. We have a couple of announcements that we're going to do to kick things off. Tonight, for the very first time at the Plaster Dragon, we are incorporating bits into the game. So these are ways for you to both help and hinder our players this evening. So please, from the bottom of my heart, I encourage you, mess with these players. They can take it. You can take it.
You won't do it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So there's going to be a little thing at the bottom of the screen. You can see that scrolling work, but I'm going to go over some of the choices that you're going to be able to do. For 200 bits, you will be able to force the player of your choice to either pull a brick on their next turn. Drinking is not an option for that player. For 300 bits, you can force an immediate obstacle into the path of the player of your choice. How they handle that path is up to them, but you can do that. For 500, maybe you're feeling particularly magnanimous. And I can say magnanimous because I have not drank all that much yet. You can pay 500 bits and give the player of your choice an automatic success. They can skip an obstacle. This is where you guys like make cute faces and like smile for the... Look at my babies. Look at my babies. For 1,000 bits, you can cut off a player from drinking to get past an obstacle. Now, here's what that means. Every time they run into an obstacle, they have to pull a brick. And I need to state this for the sake of the sanity of the players. You do not have to keep drinking. It just becomes recreational.
Oh, you don't have to quit drinking.
You don't have to quit drinking,
Yeah.
okay? You can keep drinking, but you're not going to be able to use it to get past obstacles, okay? It's all right. So you don't cry. Now, here's the mega one. For 1,500 bits, if you're feeling particularly feisty, you are out to get somebody. A player of your choice has to make a blindfolded pull with only the other players providing verbal guidance to that particular player. And I will tell you right now, if anybody wants to choose that option tonight, the blindfold is themed to tonight's episode, but I will not be revealing it until somebody chooses that particular bit.
You won't do it. You won't do it.
John is already feeling
Wow.
feisty. Next up,
This is so...
I have some good news, and I have some bad news. Already, you're about to spit beer all over yourself. I've got good news and bad news. Guys, this is the last Sunday Night Dread, Drunken Dread.
Oh.
I'm really sorry. Because we're moving to Saturdays! We're moving, that's right. Kiddos, you can grab some friends, you can play your own home version, and it's on the weekend, and we're not hungover, stumbling to work on Monday, which is awesome. Because I guess normal people drink on Saturdays and not every day. So yes, Drunken Dread will be moving to Saturdays from here on in. Plenty of games, plenty of play sets. So yes. All right, I think that's all the announcements out of the way. Why don't we go around the circle and introduce who is playing tonight and the character that you are going to be playing. John, let's start with you.
Hi. I'm going to be playing Jacob Jack Henry. He was a navigation specialist for the Starways cruise liner. And it was a pretty good gig. However, he liked the alcohol, and one day he drank a little bit too much, went into work, and caused a crash that cost the lives of 42 people. So super sad.
It's super sad.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
Tracy.
I'm Tracy. My character is Roach. She grew up on space stations. Her parents were stealing shuttlecraft from before she was born, and they were able to get on ships a little bit more easily because they were a family unit, and so they looked really trustworthy. So they were in charge of location acquisition and sales, and she was a part of that. She was pretty useful because she could get through all the little tunnels and walkways and things like that, and she ended up getting illegal cybernetic implants into her hands and feet so that she can spider crawl all over the place, which is pretty awesome.
Trevor.
Hello, my name's Trevor. I will be playing the character of Walton Calder, bank heist extraordinaire. You need a bank robbed? I got it. I broke into one of the biggest megacorps on this rock, and I broke into that file vaults, and I grabbed every single bit of classified information I could, and I ran out as soon as the vault slammed down on my arm. It tore my arm off, and I went to a black market dealer, and it gave me kind of a shoddy black market scythe arm. It's a hand, and then it also becomes a scythe. Sometimes it sticks to being a scythe, which makes it really hard to wipe me ass. But sometimes it sticks to being a hand, which makes it really hard to put mayonnaise on my bread. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Yeah.
That was beautiful. Eric, a newcomer to the stream, and
Yeah.
it's your first time. Welcome.
Yeah, and I gotta follow that.
Yeah, we should have set you on this side.
It's a trial of initiation.
Hi, I'm Eric. I am Jax, and Jax is he does double duty on the ship. He is the doctor and also the mechanic because he got caught doing his old job, which was helping people get black market biotech. So he would install the biotech, has a piece himself. He has a cybernetic eye, but he didn't come about getting that in the most legal of ways. So it doesn't always work out as well as you'd hope.
Okay.
But yeah.
And the player that you can't see tonight is Brian Weissman, without whom we couldn't be doing this. So everybody without screaming, everybody say, hi, Brian.
Hello, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Thank you so much for producing, pal. If all of you could grab a drink, please. It's time to start this game off right. If somebody could hand me my shot as well. All right, it's time for another night. Kids, are you ready for adventure? In the Deep Space edition of Drunken Dread. Here's to all the stories from now until we're dead. Here's to you. Here's to me. And to all of you, here's Dread. Woo! If you couldn't already tell, this edition of Drunken Dread is Deep Space Edition.
Gotta wash it down.
So, good morning.
It's the same thing.
Good morning, crew. It is day 842 aboard Space Station Alpha Centauri B, or as you all have nicknamed it, the asshole end of the universe. Just a reminder to each and every one of you, you are a criminal. Now, we all know you all had your reasons for doing what you did. However, the Earth is getting crowded. Resources are limited. No one was very surprised when the government signed a contract with the OCB Corporation. Owl Creek Bridge has established itself as the forefront of technology and space exploration. The world, however, was surprised at the OCB and what they did next. They started using prisoners as an expendable resource. Each one of you have been offered a commuted sentence if you serve aboard the space station. You all know each other, and you all know me. Well, I'm Bob, your basic operations Bob. I'm basically the artificial intelligence that helps run this space station, and I'm your go-to buddy for anything that you might need. I help wake you up, tell you where the food is, and guys, I'm here to help. And I want to warn you guys, you're all asleep in your beds, and each of you has a microchip firmly planted right at the base of your skull. And that's how I track you, and you all are aware of that. It helps make sure that you're on the ship, and it helps me track where you are on the ship, and it also helps me get you guys moving. Because just like an animal, I sometimes have to prod you in the right directions. So all four of you are asleep, and you're all woken up the same way. The same way you're woken up every single morning, with a very small electric shock at the exact same time in all of your beds. You're all asleep, it's quiet, it's peaceful, and then zzz. Hey Hey guys, it's me, Bob, and I just wanted to give you the heads up that we have a supply ship coming in with the month's supplies, and it's coming in pretty hot. So if all of you can make your way down to the supply cargo area, that would be great. Head down to the loading bay, and we'll get this thing in. Just a heads up, it's not responding to my hails or slowing down at all, so I'm a little concerned. I love you guys. Bye. The ship is yours.
All right.
Well, I guess we better get down to the bridge, see what's going on.
I guess. I mean, like, it's weird that it's not responding to hails, but let's go down and see what's up.
All right. You guys are all very familiar with the layout of the ship. It has several compartments that you're normally used to on this space station. Your job, you all know, is to monitor this particular star system. And you monitor the star system in a pretty boring way. The star system emits radio waves. There's one particular star that has been acting kind of weird lately. And you guys know you've been here for over a year, but over almost 2 years. And lately it's been odd. There's been radio signals coming out from the star. And you don't know who you report back to. You don't know who is getting all this information. You assume it's somebody at the Owl Creek Bridge Corporation, but you're stationed here. And life is pretty boring. You all find your ways, be it making alcohol, be it scoping out the escape pods and checking out cruisers that come by. But this day, this is a special day. This is the day the supply ship comes in. And each of you has personal items that you requested that are finally coming in. So as you head down to the supply loading area for the space station, you notice that Bob wasn't kidding. You see the ship coming in, and it's coming in hot. What do you do?
Should we change course?
Do we have any ability to move the space station at all?
You do. Using minimal thruster movements, you bet that you could probably move the space station to get it. You also have access to any technology that you could think of that would be accessible on a space station this size. Now, granted, you are all criminals. You're not going to have the highest possible tech here, but the four of you are also clever. There's a reason they picked you guys. So you got a space shuttle that you've lost communication with. How do you get it in safely?
Is there a tractor beam on the ship?
There is. It's a little hit or miss.
Okay. I'm going to go up to the controls of the
Okay.
tractor beam. I'm going to try and slow down the ship.
Okay.
Are
So
we
you
in
want to
range?
repulse it.
Like, slow it
You
down.
want to catch it in the tractor.
Well,
Right.
it's already on
Bring
its
it
it's
in.
already on its way in. You want to put pressure on it to slow it down
Yeah,
so it's
just
coming in.
slow it down because it looks
Yeah.
like it's on a collision course directly to us, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that you could totally do that.
Yeah.
Dot,
I try and do that.
All right. So you walk up to the control panel, and something you're familiar with. You've fascinated with how the ship works, and it's the funniest thing. You're a guy that knows things. That's your job. You're the guy that gets everything, and you know things.
Like,
So
like a gotcha thing.
yeah, you're a guy who can get you things. You're the red of this space station. So Walton, you very easily slow this ship down, and as it's coming in, you're noticing some weird markings on this ship. You've seen the supply ship come in 1,000 times, and it looks beat to hell. There are scratches down the sides of it, like something took it out. And you notice as it pulls in that this thing must have barely gotten here. Normally, you can see the pilot of the supply ship very clearly, but there is nobody in the pilot's seat. And as you slow this thing in, autopilot starts to kick in, and this thing comes to a grinding halt and stops. Yeah. Oh. All right. Well, thank you so much. We have our first forced pull, and that's great for Jax over here. I want to clarify that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jax, I just want to make sure. I want to make sure that you are aware of what's happening right here.
Yeah.
So say thank you to Jack Walk for giving you that forced pull.
Thanks, Jack Lock.
Okay, so Jax, all four of you guys are standing up by the spaceship, and it is burning hot.
Yeah.
And then you kind of look around, and you're like, all right, who wants to do this? And all three of them take a step backwards. Standard. So you walk up to the front. Now, Eric, you are you're weirded out because this thing is coming a lot, and you're going out to the door, and it is jammed shut. So you're gonna have to force your way into this thing, unless you can think of a different way to get this thing open.
So I want to try to use my cybernetic eye
Okay.
to hijack the computer on the ship and open the door.
Okay. You start communicating. Hey, Jax, it's me, Bob. How can I help?
I wanted to try to open the door to the ship without us having to pry it open in case there's anything inside.
10-4. Let me see if I can communicate. I'm communicating with the other ship. There's a weird firewall here. What's the weakling Minesweeper on this thing? Oh, there it is. I got it. The door slides open.
It's crazy timing.
You guys look inside. And who's looking inside?
I'll look inside.
Okay. You walk up and you take a look around, and you get it looks fairly normal. The supplies are there. Everything's sort of pushed to the back. It's fairly large.
Is there normally like someone on this ship?
Yes.
Okay, and they're not there?
Are you gonna walk into the ship?
Yeah, I'll walk in.
You walk into the ship and you see a woman. She's got short, dark hair. She's a woman that you've seen many times before. She's someone that you recognize as being here before, but she is beat to hell. She is bloody. She is unconscious, and she is currently slumped over in the pilot's seat.
Okay.
If you would like to make a deeper observation, I would allow you to do that, but you would have to pull or take a drink.
Well, I'm gonna do that, but I'm also gonna call Jax in
Okay.
because I know he's a medic and I would know that. So, but I'm also gonna look.
Jax,
And,
you're a medic,
Yes.
so I was going to make this a little bit of a harder pull. Okay, here's something weird that you didn't notice until just now. She's not strapped in. She's not strapped in. Now feels like a good time to mention that Jacob Jack Henry, that John wrote him as a bit of an alcoholic.
Yes.
So he has a new dynamic to his character that none of you have. The drunker John gets, the drunker his character becomes. So things that might be good for a normal person are going to be a little harder. Okay, so Jax, you have been called in to the room.
Yes.
She is on death's door.
Okay.
Because you have medical expertise and because he had the foresight to call you in, I will let you pull a brick or take a drink in order to stabilize her enough.
I will take a drink to stabilize her.
Take a pretty good sip.
Okay.
And that is straight, yep, that is straight bourbon. That is straight bourbon. That is fine.
She's stable.
You utilized a medical kit, and sure enough, it's the weirdest thing. This character pops into being, and I actually wanted to surprise you guys to see if it works to pull in cameos. So this pilot wakes up.
Here?
Yep, wherever. You can sit right-
Oops.
yep.
Yeah.
This pilot wakes up and is looking around frantic and looking at you guys with fear. So what happens next? She's looking straight at you because you're the one who brought her back. This is Hillary.
I want to calm her, Hillary, using my training as a medic. Obviously, we're taught a little bit of training on how to calm a patient because higher heart rate, faster the blood pumps out.
Okay. So she's awake.
Okay. Tell us what happened.
I woke up and I have no idea. There were these things all over the place and they just took over.
Took over the systems? Okay. Just go back there and walk us through it slowly. You're safe.
Are we?
Yes.
I don't know about that, but
All right, she's not she's not calming down. So one of you guys has to be comforting and try to calm her down. So you can do a pull, or you can have a drink. So this is the weirdest thing. I was gonna force all of you guys. You're gonna have to calm yourself down because you were in for 5 seconds and you've already been given a forced pull from Substance. Hillary, welcome to Drunken Dread.
Jesus, we hate new people. God.
There we go. And she starts calming down. Substance, you are evil. I love you so much.
Okay.
You're calmed down. For some reason, something about these people is settling you. You've recognized them before. So start communicating what you're able to communicate.
There were thousands of them. And I don't know where they went. They attacked me, clearly. Are you sure they're not here anymore?
I can do a quick scan of the ship to see if there's any carbon-based life forms. Were they carbon-based or mechanical?
They weren't mechanical.
Are we all on the ship at this point? Are we all there?
Are you?
Well, I was on.
The two of them.
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
Did
yeah.
you follow?
Yes.
What
I'll
did they?
slowly follow with my scythe arm.
Okay.
Watch it, man. What did they look like?
I can't remember exactly, but they were really fast, very short.
How short? How small? When you say thousands.
I got a quick look at them, and
Are we talking like Peter Dinklage or like Ant or like what's the range here?
That's the difference between Peter Dinklage and Ant.
There's only 2 sizes in life. There's here and here.
I would like to apologize on the 1,000,001 shot that Peter Dinklage is watching this episode.
Also, if Peter
We
Dinklage is
love
watching
you.
High.
So how big were they?
maybe about half my size.
Okay. And there were thousands on your ship?
What was weird is that I would focus on one, and then all of a sudden it'd be gone.
Well, that's not good.
No.
So do you
I'd
think
like
it
to
could
call
have
on
been
Bob
less,
to do a
but
scan
then
of
it
our
seemed-
ship.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Ooh, there's somebody else there. Wow. Hey, what is it you need?
Can you scan the ship for extra life forms?
Sure, I can totally do that. A little preoccupied with keeping this thing in orbit, though, but I could probably do that.
Wait.
Is there any way we could help you?
Oh, sure. I mean, well, if you really want me to do this...
Wait.
I could
Before
probably-
you do that, why are you preoccupied with keeping us in orbit? That should be sustainable.
Oh, the gravitational pull from the sun just increased. It's the weirdest thing. I just didn't want to tell you guys because you guys all looked so busy.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah?
In the future, tell us these things.
Yeah, we
You
talked
got
about
it.
this.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry, what did you need me to do?
How much energy would it take for you to scan the ship for other life forms? Would you be able to maintain our orbit while doing that?
I could certainly try.
Is there any way we can help this?
Can
Yes.
we run the scan?
Well, I mean, if 2 of you want to help me by going to a terminal...
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
All right, let's see. Scanning for different elements.
Yeah, I'll go
This is kind of weird. Yeah, I'm sensing a couple of different things. Oh, there's definitely a human-based life form on the ship. Oh wow, she is not doing good. Her heart rate is really elevated. Oh, I don't know if you guys want to know this. There's about 30 to 40 also on the ship that just came into dock. They're now on our ship.
30 to 40 watts, Bob.
Yeah.
That's when you hear. Nobody stepped back into the cargo bay. And that's when you hear it. You hear this hissing sound. You hear this. And that's when it happens. They swarm. They drop whatever thing was hiding them from your field of vision. And they're everywhere in this cargo ship. They're pressed body to body, and they have remained completely silent until the moment that you have noticed them. And you see all of these eyes turn and look at you.
Oh, her specifically or us?
All of you.
Okay.
And they are not moving. and everyone has remained perfectly still, including the creatures. They are small, they are squat, they have long, spider-like arms with 3 fingers on the end. They are about Peter Dinklage height.
Thank you. I needed reference.
Their skin seems to be pulsating, timing with a pulse that one of you could recognize if you want to.
Careful. Careful. We have been heavier pullers this week.
Oh, geez.
You know what's happening, Walton. You recognize this. Other people might not recognize this, but you certainly do. Walton. Walton, you've spent a lot of time by yourself.
Jesus Christ.
And this thing,
That I do.
this thing is pulsating with the star. All of them. It's following the same pattern. And you know this because you used to count it. You'd watch the star pulses. And they're all going at the exact same time. Pulsating. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And sure enough, you see the star outside of your field of vision.
Are you going to say
1,
this to us?
2, 3, 4. Who is the obstacle for? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I feel like we should get back in the ship because they seem to be there seems to be some sort of
If there were-
connection between them and the star.
Can we
If there were thousands on her ship and we're only seeing this many, maybe we close off the ship before we have thousands on our ship.
Also, if the energy is coming from outside the ship, we're
Roach,
currently
yeah.
inside 2 different layers of insulation right now, so we might be safer from the energy inside 2 ships.
Perfect. You 3, having this thought, get up and immediately bolt out of the ship. For some reason, you're having this thought of like, oh my god, we need to close off the ship. And the minute you think that, the 3 of them are gone. And all of the creatures take a step forward and they notice that the 2 of you, Roach and Hill, are still on the ship. And they start moving towards you. They start moving towards the 2 of you.
Can I grab her and start pulling her off the ship? Because I can't. Because she can't move
can't
right
walk.
now.
You can totally do that. You are going to be moving at a severe disadvantage even with a pull. With a pull and a drink,
A pull and a drink?
you could manage to get her off. Maybe you're going to suffer some sort of penalty.
Can I have a
You're going to
moment of
get
clarity
there.
and run back to grab to help?
I think this
I got
is
this.
this is
Nope.
all her.
I got
Got
This
it.
is all
You're
her.
out.
We can't do anything about this.
Oh
Well,
my
that's gotta
God.
That has to count.
You, Roach, you immediately do something that you've never done before, but you thought you could do it in theory.
Oh, it's 2. I'm sorry.
You
No. You drank and then pulled one.
You-
Yeah, that's right.
shove your 2 hands together, which are magnetized, creating a spark, and it flashes in the eyes of all of them, and they close. And the minute their eyes close, you grab Hill by the arms, and thank you so much. You can thank Fire.
Thank you, Fire.
Yeah, and and then grab Hill from the arms and pull her, dragging out of the ship, and she's trailing blood on the ground. Okay, and they are looking at the blood as you pull her off the ship, and she is bleeding on the ground, and that's when they all disappear again. They all disappear. You are off the ship. The ship is there. Yes. Now, Hillary, you are bleeding profusely, and your blood is pooling on the ground. And Hillary, it does not look like you are going to be able to make it off of this ship alive, unless you pull a brick from the tower, blindfolded. And you can say thank you, Audie,
Thank you, Audie. I love you.
who immediately apologizes. But
Yeah.
Hillary, This is your. This is the first time we've had this on the
Yeah,
show,
all right,
and you get to do it.
Yeah.
So,
So,
everybody,
guys,
move your drinks.
yeah.
So she doesn't
Silence.
knock your drinks.
Yeah.
The drink.
Yeah.
Silence, Tracy. You're in charge.
Oh, really?
Hell,
Thanks.
you
Do
never.
you want me to be in charge?
This
No,
would
that's
happen.
okay.
I can be in
Okay.
charge.
You
Trevor's
need
in
to
charge.
be very gentle.
All right.
Very gentle.
I would
Listen to.
also like to add that I am legally blind, so this is hilarious. So,
So
I know
this
how
isn't
this
even
feels.
necessary.
All right.
I mean, okay.
Let's wait a second, Hill, so they can all see the special Yoda mask for today's Deep Space edition of. There we go. Okay, very good. Hill is bleeding, and Roach, you have to leave her behind, and you start to see little trails in the blood, licking it up.
Poke with your finger and let's just prod and see if we can find
The lights
something.
are starting to fade
Okay,
in your
forward,
vision,
Forward.
and
Forward.
you
Forward. You're getting
don't
closer.
know
One
if you're
inch
going to be able
away.
to see to get your
No,
way
no.
up.
Okay, go up one. Go up one.
You
Push
gotta.
there.
You can't.
No.
And-
Okay, go up one.
Right now, your vision's getting
Okay,
darker,
wait.
and all
That
you
is
can
the side one.
feel
So go down
is
a little
the
bit.
hot breath
Down, 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 down.
on the back of your neck.
Try pushing that. Okay. No, down a little bit. Down a little bit.
And it
Okay,
is,
push on that.
you are
Go
surrounded.
Down, to the
You
left
are
a tiny
surrounded
bit, to the left a
by
tiny bit,
creatures
left.
you
Okay,
can't
push,
even
push,
begin
push,
to
push,
describe.
push.
Creatures that
I'll
will
let you know
haunt
when to try
your
to go the other
nightmares
side.
for the
Push,
rest
push, push.
of your life.
Okay, so what you're gonna do
And
is you're gonna probably
you feel
stand a
them
little bit
surrounding you,
and go to
and
the
you
other side,
feel
yeah.
them start to
Okay.
lap
Go in,
up
in. Do you
at
feel
some
the
of the
edge?
wounds on your body.
Really, really
And
gently.
though you can,
Okay.
though you can barely
Okay,
believe,
so, turn it the other way.
you manage to get back on your
2
feet
fingers. Okay.
and make your way towards a
then go
door that is
forward,
slowly
forward,
closing.
forward,
And you
forward.
hear it
Down a
closing,
little bit.
and you're crawling. You're
Down.
crawling on your hands and
Slowly
knees, and you
down.
feel them
Right a little
behind
more.
you. And you
Good.
start moving towards the
Straight
door,
ahead.
and you're getting
Forward,
closer and closer to the
Right,
door.
right, right,
And more of them
right,
are
right,
snapping
down,
their
down.
talons into your legs. And
Uh,
one
back a
grabs
little
your
bit,
foot
back a
and
little bit.
drags you back
Down.
towards the door. But just as it does,
You're good.
you feel the door
Oh,
on the creature's arm, cutting it off. As Roach drags you back into the med bay.
Oh God! Oh
For the
shit!
time being. Right now, all of you are in the med bay for the ship.
God!
A severely bleeding Hill. But all 4 of you, all 5 of you are there, and Hill has a arm, an insectoid-like arachnid type arm attached inside of her leg. The talons are digging into it.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Oh god, no.
I'll.
Look, this seems to be the only solution
Okay.
and the first
wait,
solution.
Okay, wait. Walton, we can't just go hack and slashing at this, okay?
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm a
He's
doctor.
the medical professional. Let him do it.
What if we cauterize? What if we heat up my sword arm just a little bit? Then it's like cauterized.
Then you could do too much damage to the appendage, and we wouldn't be able to tell what it is
we
anyway.
just take off the whole thing.
I meant the alien one. I
we
don't really
start
care
off-
about hers.
We start from like
You wanna-
Why
you wanna-
are you pointing at your arm? It's my leg.
oh, I start from out here.
He's not a
And
doctor.
then
Yeah, he's very good
I don't know me up and
But
went
that's the
down.
way that's you can't tell the difference.
We go from like down here to down.
Okay. First things first, we need to get her stabilized. Because if she bleeds out, we can't get any more information out of her.
Can't chop her life.
We
You're
already
just
got a bunch of
kind of
information out of her. I'm
scary.
saying we should still save her, but like we've already gotten information from her.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yes. Bob?
Uh-oh.
Tink,
No.
What,
No,
what is,
I don't
what's
know.
that?
tink,
Does anybody hear that?
Yeah.
What's that?
tink, tink.
Is this
I'd
my
like,
down?
I'd like to call Bob, please.
Can I-
Bob!
Bob,
Tink, tink,
what is
Bob?
that? Could I?
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm just maintaining the ship. Man, gravity's wonky today.
Yeah. We noticed, it sounds like we're going to be entering a debris field.
Oh no, that's not debris. Oh, that's the things that were in there. There's just a whole bunch of them, and they're attaching themselves to the space station.
Oh,
The things
fantastic.
that were outside. So
Bob.
They don't
Yeah.
have to breathe. Oh,
Bob,
that's
do
good.
us a favor. Do us a favor,
Yeah.
and can you tell what they are?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can you tell us? What they are?
Can you inform us?
Oh, yeah. Hang on. I'm running through all this stuff. No, I can't tell you what they are. I don't recognize any of these.
Great.
Okay,
Well, quick
take
question
an image
for you.
of them. Take an image of them and research it, and then get back to us when you have information.
Okay.
Uh,
Bob.
Well, he also had a question.
Yeah.
Quick question.
This med bay, if the entire rest of the ship were to say decompress, would the med bay still stay compressed with oxygen if you close the door?
No.
Great. Real quick, how long before they break through that ship's hull?
Calculating. I might need a little help with this one. My math
Do we have
skills are
shields?
not-
Can we put shields up? Do we have shields here?
If somebody wants to take a drink or
I
a
got
little
it.
break, I'd be happy to tell
I
you
got
guys
it.
how much time
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah, I got it. I'd like to use my cybernetic eye help
Yeah,
you
would you?
to
It's right over there.
Oh, there.
On the
Okay.
use the computing power of my cybernetic eye to help you with the computation.
You guys see something weird, and you've seen it before. All of a sudden, Jack's right eye goes a little dark, and you see it kind of like gloss over, and it looks like different like mathematical equations and stuff like that. It's like a bright green field, and all these numbers go across. And Jax, you see very clearly a timetable pop up, and it pops into your lower right corner of your vision, and you're keeping a close eye on that one. That you have about, let's say, an hour and 25 minutes before oxygen on this station goes absolutely kaput, and they drill enough holes into this thing to send it. And Bob goes, hey, yeah, that's funny. You guys wanted me to tell you about gravity stuff too, right?
Yes, please.
yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about the oxygen running out. Okay, that's the good news.
Good.
Because about 5 minutes before the oxygen runs out, I think the space station's going to get pulled into the star because the
that's
star's
convenient.
acting even more wonky.
Yeah,
that's
So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, but I'm doing my job. Yay!
So these
Good job,
creatures,
Bob.
They're currently not in the ship. They're on the outside of the hull. Yes.
Well, there's the ones that came in with the supply ship, and then there's the ones on the outside of the hull.
Which,
How many
which
are-
was
Wait a
about
minute.
40 or 60 of them. Yes.
No,
Yeah.
there's a shit ton more now.
Wait, 40 or
Yeah.
60 are inside, and then there's even more. How many are on the outside of the hull?
Calculating.
For shit's sake.
I love this song.
Okay.
100.
That's not too bad.
105.
That's
Oh,
worse.
oh my god.
They're
107.
breeding.
Oh my God,
They're
no.
breeding.
Wait a
Oh,
minute.
oh my god, okay.
They're breeding.
115.
Holy shit.
Do you want me to keep going?
No,
No,
you're
no,
good.
no, no,
No,
no,
you're
no.
good.
We're gonna
stop.
Research,
Good.
research what they are and how to exterminate them, and then
Sure.
get back to us the freaking millisecond.
Okay.
You know.
They look organic,
You
correct?
guys are all in the med
Yes.
bay,
Yeah,
and
organic.
you see the computer diagnostic terminal sort of turn on. And on the medical examination table, you see what looks to be like the creature that you've seen. And it's you've only been able to catch glimpses of it, and it's been in fear and it's been in panic. This thing looks terrifying. This thing, it has like a skin that's like a bright blue green color. It's got teeth that looks like it comes in two separate rows, one at the forefront and one at the back. And the computer does an animation of the mouth opening, and you see a third row of teeth in the back as well. You see three what looks to be claws on the longs of the arms, and you see that the three claws can move and pick things up, and you see an image from where the shuttlecraft was, and you see them going up to the walls and scratching the walls, and you see one of them like come over to where the door is and press the door and knock the door, and some of them are scurrying into the shuttle. If one of you wants to get a really good look, I'm gonna need a drink or a pull.
I'll take a good look.
All four of you are concentrating on this. Hill, you're still a little shaken up, but it's Jacob that notices that one of them looks up. And the minute one of them looks up, the two next to it look up. And then the four on the outer edge look up. And then 8 look up. And then pretty soon all of them are looking up. And the one that looked up initially crouches down and jumps. And it's on the ceiling. And Roach, you know exactly where this thing is headed.
It's heading to the air vents.
It's heading into the air vents. And the minute one jumps into the air vents, the other two that were looking next wait, and they jump. And this pattern continues.
We may have a bigger problem. Good news. We're gonna die way sooner than we thought.
That's good news.
Bob,
No,
explain?
no, bad,
Yes.
bad news.
That's
That's
bad.
bad news.
What's
Bad
What's
news.
the quickest way to? Is there escape pods on this station?
You know, it's so funny. There are escape pods on this station.
What would be the quickest way to get there?
That's not a funny thing.
They're actually on the other side of the space station from where you guys are now. You'd have to move through the mess hall. You'd have to move through the crew's quarters. Oh, the firing range as well. You know, that's for funsies. But I was told never to tell you guys that was there because you're criminals and you shouldn't have access to.
How far away is
You
the
can get
firing
there through
range?
the
How
air
far away
vents,
is the
but-
firing range?
Yes.
These things are in the air vents.
Well, if you move past the mess hall and through the crew quarters, then you get to the firing range, and then there's the recreation room, and then you'd be at the escape pod, which has 1, 2, 3. I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 seats. I think it's 4. No, it's 3. I can't remember. I think I deleted it. Any other questions?
We will worry about that later.
Okay.
Right now, our focus should probably be on the firing range because I don't know a whole lot about these things, but I would assume that guns.
I figure the space station is going kaput anyway. If you guys want access to the firing range, you can have it.
We appreciate that, Bob. Bob,
Is she
Does that
stabilized
sound,
yet?
Bob?
Oh, some of those creatures are in the air vents right above you guys.
let's move. Let's move now.
Can we move? Is she stable yet? Can we move her?
Can Hillary be moved?
If somebody wants to take a movement you're in the med bay, and you would have access to this. So I'm actually going to make this a you thing. If you want to take a drink to stabilize
Do you have an opener?
her using the equipment in the med bay, I will let you do that. And hell, you're going to have half movement speed as compared to the rest of
Right.
these guys. So somebody's going to walk with her, always walking behind, always the last person in line, and carry
Can
you
we
out.
have two
I-
people on either side, like holding?
That's fine. You can increase the movement speed a little bit, but somebody is always going to be at a disadvantage.
I have a passive skill. I'll stay with Hillary because I
Okay.
can scan from behind
That's fine. Yeah.
and also be there to stabilize her if anything were to go wrong.
Yep. That's great.
Yeah, make noise if something goes wrong.
Absolutely.
Okay. You guys leave. You guys leave the biolab. Hell, you are as stable as it's going to be, and you notice that Jax has decided to walk with you, and you know that these are criminals. You've been warned this, and even though that's the case, he's staying with you, and he's walking with you, and carrying you. All right.
It's good because
So
when I heard it,
you guys make your way out,
Nope.
and as you're leaving this room, you're making your way to the next stop, right? You're trying to get closer and closer to the firing range, correct?
Okay. Yes.
Right.
Correct.
yes.
Okay. So you go to the mess hall. Okay.
Okay.
You go to the mess hall and you notice there's a long row of tables. There's food processors, and you're in the mess hall. You're walking towards the door, and all of a sudden you hear something scurrying up above your head, and one of the creatures, bam, drops right in front of the first person in line, which is
It's probably you.
Sword arm, yeah.
You with
So,
sword arm.
this thing drops down in front of you and just stares at you, and it is looking everywhere at you. Are you moving?
No, I'm staring at right in its bloody eyes.
You're not moving.
No.
Okay, Roscoe.
So it's not moving. It's searching around. It's attracted to your arm, and it comes up, and
we all see this, right?
you do.
Okay.
And it goes over to the food processor, starts beating at the food processor, and all of a sudden it takes one of its spindly arms and shoves it into the food processor. And as it does, you see electricity arc from the food processor down its spindly blue-green arm. And as it pulses a little bit, if somebody wants to figure out what is going on, I will give them a perception check. Pull.
Yeah.
or swig of
Perception.
their beer.
I will.
Or, I was.
You sure?
Yeah.
I-
Do you want to do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I guess you're
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Hill, you were the last thing you saw as you were pulling up before you blacked out was this star. And you notice the lights in this room are being affected by this thing. And it's not the lights in this room, it's the light of the sun. And as this thing drains energy from the ship, you notice that the sun itself is starting to pulse with the electricity going into this. And as it does, the shade of the skin of this beast changes a little bit. And the light outside changes as well. And as it does, you see this thing very quickly change shape. It gets taller.
Oh, it's growing. They're growing. There's
It's
something
the
about
technology.
the sun's magnetic.
Yeah, it's the.
Or
And
the-
the
electricity.
knife grows a little.
Can I run up and
on its-
smack my hand on it with my magnetized?
Absolutely, you
Poor
can.
idea.
And I will let you do that if you have a drink
Okay.
Or pull,
make
or
a pull.
or make a pull.
Yeah, pull.
You walk up to it. You walk up to it.
I can't take it back, right? If I start to pull, I have to finish
Yeah, you
pulling.
You
have
can
to-
abandon a pull at any time, but if you abandon the pull, you
There are
abandon the move.
consequences. Okay.
So Roach
Okay.
is a little bit fearless. She's a little bit crazy. You've seen her do things outside of the ship when she's done repairs. She walks up to this thing, uses her magnetized hand, and smacks the hell out of this thing. And this thing immediately looks over at Roach, and something about the magnetism in her hands fucks this thing up in the head, and it starts screeching. And when it starts screeching, every place in the ship is screeching. Every corner of the ship is screeching. Metal is screeching, and the little chips on the back of your neck all trigger off. All of them light up a little bit. And you feel that same burn that you feel every time Bob wakes you up. It's just a little quick sting. And as it does this thing shrieks and howls and closes in on itself. And it hardens and it stops. And it's a little pod. It's a little black pod, and it is smoking out of the ends of it. And the ship is quiet. And this ship is never quiet. You've lived here for a long time, and you know the sounds that the ship makes. It's this comforting sounds that you used to hate before, the sound of the oxygen system and the sounds of the coolant system. And all of a sudden, you are faced with the dread of silence. And then all the electricity kicks back on. And this little black smoking pod is in front of you.
We need to keep moving.
Well, that was weird. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, we need to
Wait,
keep moving.
Bob, what
Does
just
it-
happened?
Does it look dead?
The systems had a bit of a malfunction, but I've got everything back up and running. There was definitely a power surge, though.
Bob, could you analyze that power surge?
Sure, analyzing now. Analyzing.
Can we keep moving while this is happening?
Yeah, it's actually coming from the thing that's in the.
Oh, good. Let's keep moving.
A crack appears on the little shell that this creature had. And then another crack. And another crack. Another crack. Who recognizes this? Who recognizes what this is? It's really weird.
Apparently he does.
Jacob, you harken back to childhood.
What?
You harken back to childhood. You go back to when you were a kid, and you were living back on a planet that was somewhat like Earth, and you remember reading this book, and you know what this is.
Oh, no.
This is chrysalis.
Oh, shit.
This
Oh,
is,
no.
This is a cocoon.
Did I just give it a
Oh
jolt of
my
energy?
Might have
Did I
gotten
just help
much
it?
worse.
The shell cracks, and
I
something
might be a little far gone.
stands up out of this cocoon.
Oh no. Sorry guys.
And it looks big and scary with claws on the ends of its hand. And it looks exactly like Roach. And it smiles and it takes its claws and it goes
Oh my.
and it grabs the wall, and you see the door pull open as the door sticks to the magnetized claw, and it looks at it, and it smiles at you, and it lunges, and that's where we're going to take our break for tonight, folks.
fuck
We're going to take a
Good.
quick intermission and come back to Deep Space Dread. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed Act 1 as much as we did. There was almost leg cutting. There were aliens. There was suspense. I want to take a second to thank everybody, all of the donors. Audie, thank you so much. And Hillary, thanks you as well.
Yes,
In
so
her-
much.
in her
So
own special
much.
way. Fire, thank you so much. Jackwa, thank you to all of our sponsors. And Sub, thank you from the bottom of our little hearts to get paid to tell stories and for you to mess with these guys. And
You won't do it again, though.
Just not. I don't want to do it again.
Please don't antagonize
Please
do it
don't.
again.
the
If you
streamers.
do.
All right, so we come back and find ourselves with the sort of the alien version of you, Roach, looking at you and smiling very widely and lunging towards you.
Oh yeah, that. I literally forgot where we were.
Oh, that's right.
Well, what
I
can we do?
push it off me.
You push it off of you?
Yes.
And how do you plan on doing that?
Because
Just
it's
like this? Like just forward?
well, I don't want to
Perfect.
activate my magnets because apparently that makes them stronger.
Oh,
so
okay.
So I'm just. I'm
Did
not
you
gonna
remember to do
activate
that
them.
in the heat of the moment?
Yes, because I have to think to
Let's see if
activate
you remember to do that in the heat of the moment.
Uh-oh.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no.
So you're terrified. This thing lunges towards you, and you can't remember if you managed to turn off the magnetized palms of your hands. And you
Okay.
really,
Okay.
really, and you realize, yep, you totally did.
Jesus Christ.
You turned off the palms of your hands, and you push this thing, and as it's pushed backwards, its hands go behind it and stick to the wall, and it starts trying to get off, but it hasn't figured out how to lose control, and it's up against the wall, and it's snarling at you guys, and you feel it start to go. So who's going through the door? Is anybody going through the door? This thing is snarling. It can't get off of the wall, so it starts chewing its arm off. It starts tearing into its own arm, and you see this black blood, and the lights outside of the space station start flashing as it's chewing through its own arm to try to get at you guys. And it's so close, but you could probably sneak its way through the door. You're starting to get through the door. Okay, so, Jax, you run through the door. You run through the door. You're walking with Hillary. You go
for
first.
Walton.
John, you go through the door. And Walton, just as you're going through the door, you've been given a pull from fire. So just as you're going through the door, it tears its arm off by cutting through it, and it just manages to get within striking distance of you, and it lunges forward towards you. And as it lunges forward, you shove the blade end of your hand through its jaw,
What the hell?
and you look, and nobody fucking saw it.
I turn my sight into a hand again, and then I use it as like a puppet. So it's like, it's like a Jim
What does the
Henson.
puppet say?
Hello, my name is Dickwad. How do you do? And then I throw the insect thing away.
Cool. The head bounces, do, 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 and swivels, and turns to look at you, and using your voice goes, "Hello, I'm Dickwad. What do you want to do?"
That's not intimidating at all. You gotta try better.
4 drop from the ceiling.
Stop. No.
Do you go through the door?
With the rest of the people?
Yes. You go through the door. All right. You are all running down the hallway. You're starting to catch up. You are in the crew's quarters, and there's a door at the end of a long hallway. The crew's quarters are all up against the walls, and as you're running towards the door, you're running, and a creature drops on the other end of the wall, where the door is, at the very end of the hallway. And as you drop on the other side of the hallway, you see a very, very familiar face. And it is the face of Hillary. And Hillary, in blue skin, like a green skin, she is standing right there, and she closes the door on the other end of the hallway and jams her hand against it. And Hillary, you're staring at this thing, and you realize that the auto lock mechanism has been affected and has closed the door to the end of the hallway. And you are now in a kill zone with creatures on the other end of the hallway starting to try to come in through the door, and the door in front of you being locked with a creature there. And that creature jumps up into the vent system and stays right there, with the door in front of you being locked, the door behind you, and the crew quarters off to the side.
Is there a way to access the vent system from where we are?
There is absolutely, but most of you are going to be a little too big to get through that vent system.
I can get through the vent system. Do you want me to go try to open up the crew quarters? Because the crew
if
quarters
you're
are
okay
locked,
with that.
right?
If you think you can.
Yeah, if
No,
you think
I've
you
been
can,
through this vent system 1,000 times, and I
Right.
can get into the crew quarters. I know the inner workings of the ship.
Yeah. You go into your crew quarters, and you are so used to climbing this part of the wall. And as you climb up to this part of the wall, you crawl into the vent system, and you know that just a little bit off to the side, you could probably jump over, unlock the door for everybody. And as you start to crawl in, you hear a sound behind you. And it is a dunk, dunk, dunk,
Like it's behind me in the vent.
dunk,
I'm going faster. I'm trying to get down and out and through the door and unlock the door.
And as you do that, you realize behind you is a very, very familiar face.
It's me.
It's here. And it's one-armed, but it's still moving really fast.
Oh my god. Can I kick out at it and keep going?
I will say that this thing sees what you're doing because it knows you, and that it is moving equally as fast as you are. And this will be a contested run from where you are to see if you can get to the chute down to the other side of the door before this thing catches you.
How do you want to do a contested run against?
I need 2 glasses.
Well,
Okay.
hold on, give me a second. Okay.
So it's a pull or a glass.
It
And
is
what do you mean by
going to be-
pull?
They're
versus
very
It
glass?
is going to be a pull or a
For
glass.
who?
However, somebody here, I believe it's Astro, has given you an auto success
What?
for this
Yeah.
particular move.
Nice.
Yes, thank you so
Oh my
much.
god, you're amazing!
Astro,
Wow. Nice.
as you start to
I
go
don't know
towards
what
this,
this meant, but thank you.
this was going to be very bad. So as you
Very
I'm
bad.
both terrified and intrigued.
as you
I want to do one
as you start to move
Later.
forward,
later.
as you start to move forward, you realize
That'll be you
that
and me. Drink off for the last spot.
this thing may have your body, and this thing may have your special ability, but it is not you. And roaches are fucking resilient as hell.
True.
And you activate a little something that you've been tinkering with on your arm, and you shove it into the vent, and you look back and smile at it and flip it the bird. And you go, you know what lives in space? Roaches. And you send an electrical current, and that thing is not wearing your rubber soled boots. And you crouch a little bit, and this thing takes the electricity and it's smiling, but it's taking too much. And this thing explodes. You are covered in gore, you are covered in viscera, but this thing explodes and it is not coming back. You walk over to the door, and all of you are completely afraid because another creature drops down from the door and it is smiling the same manic craze smile that the other aliens did. And then you guys all realize, no, it's not a crazy smile. That's actually Roach. She's just smiling. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Astro's awesome!
and the door opens, and she says, the door opens.
Oh,
She says,
I said, come on in, guys. We got this.
So
you guys
inviting.
come- You walk in, and Bob sees you guys coming, and he's like, hey, I hope you guys are keeping track of the time. It looks like you guys are having fun, though. I opened up the firing range. It's a little dusty, but just so you guys know, there's a whole bunch of like rifles, but like don't touch them. Wink.
Thanks, Bob.
Because you're
I love
criminals, right?
you. I love you so much, Bob.
I love you guys too. Have fun. Don't die.
I
So
go and
how-
grab
how-
a gun.
Yeah, are we there in the firing range?
Yes.
Yes.
You are in the
Okay.
firing range. It is a very dusty place, and you can't believe that all of you guys have been living on this station for a long ass time, and none of you have thought to go into this room. But you didn't know it existed. Like the door was like, it almost looks like a portion of the wall lifts up, and you see a chute. You see like 4 long chutes, and it looks like a traditional firing range. The very end of the area is another door that you know leads you to the shuttles and leads you to what you believe to be the escape pods.
I
A
think
place
you
that you've
phrased
been
it like
before,
that.
and you circumnavigated a huge portion of the ship. And as you're looking at this and realizing, man, I am super close, you hear a ripping sound. And a portion of the ceiling where all of the guns are facing towards, where the targets are, rips open, and one drops down.
Oh, shit.
And another one drops down. And they're small, but they're pulsating a lot. And they're pulsating a lot, and they're all dropping down. And that's when you all realize they're right in the range of these pulse rifles.
Can we fire at him?
Who's firing?
I'm gonna fire at him.
I'm firing at him.
Let's squash some bugs.
Let's all fire
We're
at
all
him.
gonna fire
Let's
at him.
all fire at him. Cheers.
All of you pick up your guns, smile at each other, and for a brief moment, you're not criminals stuck on a space station. You're a doctor. You're a salvager.
He's a drunk.
He's a drunk. You're a man taking secrets from people who don't deserve them.
on the table, John.
Hill,
Jesus
Did
Christ.
we decide? Because I thought it was just 3.
huh?
Did we decide whether we're going to shoot 2?
No, there were only 3 pulse
3,
rifles.
yeah.
I'll
Oh,
let you
no.
guys find some. Take it. Take
Rifles?
Okay,
I
right.
already-
Another one.
I've never
I
shot
had
a
one, I
gun
earned it.
alive.
it. You're taking them out super fast. They're all coming at you super fast, but you are mowing them down. And it seems like it is happening a lot. And they are coming out. And that is when you realize you're all starting to slowly move towards the door. You go first with Hill. You go afterwards. You are going, Roach, you are following up behind. And you realize that you are closest to the door, Jacob. So you are holding down the fort, and as they walk past you and go through the door, you go past, you go past, you go past, and you are happily mowing them down. You are drunk off of life and violence, and that is when your pulse rifle jams.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
And they all stop, and they look at you, and all of them take on your face. And all of them smile and start clamoring towards you. What do you do?
Pull a brick.
That's what John does. What does Jacob do?
Throw my gun at them.
You throw your gun at them.
I've been drinking from my flask this whole time.
How close to the door is Jacob?
Very close.
Okay, I would like to.
You can't. This is mine.
You
okay.
Yeah, no, you
cannot.
can't.
You are.
Okay.
You
No,
have
this-
said before that you are taking care of her.
Yes,
You take your gun.
I tried.
I've got so much beer on my chin.
I
I
tried.
have never seen John this drunk before. And John, this tower looks wonky as hell.
Ow!
Jacob looks towards the door,
You got this.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
picks up his pulse
only do it
rifle, hurls his pulse rifle, and the pulse rifle bounces once.
Fuck you.
It bounces twice. It bounces a
Can I
third.
try a brick and then abandon it and go for another one?
Absolutely, you can.
Okay.
Making the tower.
Oh my gosh!
wow.
Oh my gosh! Oh
So, what
That was
happens?
the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
So, what happens next?
The pulse rifle.
Don't touch the table. Oh god.
pulse rifle goes off, and one shot rings out. And all of the aliens track the movement as it goes over to a cache of grenades that you guys didn't even notice. And Jacob looks over and he pulls his flask out and he tips one back. As he backs out of the door, he takes his flask, downs the whole thing as an explosion rips through the firing range, and Jacob backs through the door. As the door slams shut, they all scream, and he walks away. The explosion and fire happening behind him, and he doesn't even look back to watch it. You are now at the escape pods.
That whole thing
And
is balancing
all
on
of
over.
you that were originally on the space station feel an even stronger pull
crap.
on the back of your neck.
We're not allowed to leave.
It fucking hurts.
We're not supposed to be here.
It's a pulse, and it's like he's still trying to like wake you up, but it's stronger than how it normally feels. Like it's
Sorry.
bad. It is hurting, and then it subsides. You get used to the pain, and there's the escape pod.
Can you take the things out of our necks?
No. Wait, no. Hold on.
Cutting
hold
is
on.
not always
Bob,
the answer.
Bob,
Yes, it is.
Bob. All right. So, what was I asking for?
Chips.
Chips. So
No, not like salt and vinegar.
No, I know. All right, so Bob, the station is fucked. I hate to. Yeah. I'm glad you know.
Great.
So
Unequivocally.
Ooh, guys, don't forget that tonight is spaghetti and movie night here on the
cool,
space station.
awesome. I
We're
can't
watching
wait.
Cool Hand
Side
movie.
note.
Yeah.
Sorry. We
Yeah.
And you cannot heroic out of that.
Nope.
You have to try.
Aw, man.
So Bob, can you deactivate the chips so that we can escape, because value of life is more important than criminal sentences, and please let us live.
Sure. Yeah, I just need access to somebody's chip first. Ooh, I know. Let me see. I'll pick a number at random. 1, 2, 3. I don't know. Numbers best. 3. So, Walton, maybe you can be my guinea pig. And 2 robotic arms come out of the ceiling, and he goes, "Trust me, Walton, this won't hurt a bit." And one of the hands retracts into itself, and it turns into a spinning buzzsaw, and it goes, and it goes, "Now, this is important. You need to hold real still."
All right,
Okay,
Trevor,
where are you going to
I've
pick to
got
talk?
you.
Now, here's the deal, guys.
I've got you. It's upside down, but
It
that's
is.
fine.
Here's the good news, guys. I'm almost positive that I can get your chips deactivated. I might need a living or dead test subject. So, let's
Oh
see.
God.
Trevor, I will guide you, okay?
Okay.
All right,
Who do you
Trevor,
want to guide?
stop.
I feel like maybe
Stop.
Trevor.
Stop.
Do the
Trevor,
buzzsaw,
lower,
start spinning.
lower, Trevor,
No.
lower, Trevor. No, run, stop, Trevor. Trevor, stop, Trevor.
Trevor. It's not-
Trevor, stop. Trevor, stop.
It's not going well.
Which way do I go?
No, you've got it right. You've got it
Higher.
right.
So further
And the
forward.
buzzsaw cuts
And
into
then
your neck.
just gently
and you
down.
just grin
Further over
through
to
the
left,
pain.
further over left.
Grin
Left,
through the
forward,
pain.
forward. Up,
And
forward,
grin through
forward.
the pain,
Forward,
and it cuts
forward,
in,
left,
and
left.
it cuts
There you
in.
go. Good, let it go. Let it go.
That's 2.
Oh, you know something? I could probably just do this remotely. And the buzzsaw returns into it. And you feel all the backs of your necks immediately calm down, and it's still there. The pain is still there, but all of the lights surrounding the escape pod turn a bright green color, and it's not something you've ever seen before. and you see something go from locked to unlocked where the escape pod is. And you realize that you did it. That Bob actually pulled something off, and that you through sheer confidence and will and standing perfectly still, you managed to get things unlocked, and freedom is so close. You've never been this close. You could start a new life. This cruiser could take you somewhere great and hopeful, and the door on the escape pod closes.
We can't get in?
It's just closed.
Okay, I'm gonna try to jimmy it open because I'm good with stuff like that. I can get into shuttles. I can get into escape pods.
You try to jimmy the escape pod shuttle open, and it doesn't.
I pull out the panel.
Bob,
I've done
open
this
the
a
escape
thousand
pods.
times. I can get into an escape pod. I
Oh,
can
no,
get
no,
into a
guys,
shuttle.
it's okay. It's okay. You're already in the escape pods. Handled it.
Bob, we are
Bob,
not
we're
in the
not
escape
in the
pods.
escape
No,
pod.
yeah, you are. And he throws up a little vid screen, and it's on the wall in front of you, and it's you guys.
Oh shit.
Oh no, they look like us.
Bob,
Wait,
just
wait.
for fun.
I got it. Hey, Bob,
Yeah,
read biometrics on the life forms in the escape pod and see if they match ours perfectly.
I'm looking.
They will.
Yep. They look great.
Hey Bob,
that's
just
not
for
us.
fun,
That's not us, Bob.
just for fun, open the other escape pods.
No, you guys are in there too.
No, see,
Wait.
that doesn't make logical sense,
Bob.
Bob. Think through your logic circuits.
Hey
and
Bob.
Ooh, the sun's not looking good. You guys wanted to be told when the sun's not looking good, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
we did,
immediately.
we did. Bob.
You guys go over to the window,
Yeah.
and the sun is starting to blacken. It's starting to lose its color,
Uh-oh.
Bob
and
is
it's starting.
things.
Is it hardening?
Bob.
It's hardening,
The sun is hardening?
and you hear a sound that is everywhere at once, and it's coming from outside the space station, and it is terrifying. It is everywhere, and the sun is gone, and in its place is a large black sphere,
It's the creatures.
and the ship gets quiet again. It's real quiet. You can hear your heartbeat. And because it's so quiet, all of you hear the crack outside. And you see it. It's a little fissure. It's a little fissure at the very center of that black sphere where the sun used to be. And another crack appears. And then another. And then another. And Bob goes, "Hey, that's funny."
What's funny, Bob?
It kind of looks like the thing from the...
Can I rip open a panel and just manually get this door open? Because
Sure.
we can take out 4 of these things.
But
Absolutely.
there's more than 4.
Yeah.
No, there's just
can-
us. There's 5 of
Look,
us.
we
in there.
only need life support for one area of the ship right now. If we divert power from all the rest of the ship's life support, maybe we can get enough power to at least
If
get
I-
a scan on this thing.
If I knock over the tower, will I get the door open?
You could sacrifice your life by taking your metal hand, which has not come into play at all this game,
Yeah.
and shove it into the panel, and
That would open the door.
would open the door.
It's gonna hurt.
Oh my god.
So, Jacob looks at all of you, realizes he left his flask in the other room, so he pulls out a second flask. He takes a swig, and he smiles. And Jacob, you see all 42 of the people that you accidentally killed, and you see them all looking at you. They've got blue-green skin. And you think of all those nights that you could have gone back and you would have given your life to save one of them. And you think to yourself, hey, I couldn't save one, but saving 4? Fuck, that's even better. And you smile. And you take your metal arm. And you shove it through the security panel.
Oh God.
And it is bad. It is bad. It is not a good death. It is heart-wrenching. It is terrifying. His skin blackens and cooks. But you guys all see and watch because Jacob doesn't stop laughing the entire time it's happening. The entire time it's happening, he's laughing and smiling. And when you look up, Jacob is gone. His body is burnt to a crisp. His clothes are completely destroyed. But you know what's perfectly fine? His flask. And it stands there. In the charred, burnt, black, crisped hand. So I need all of you to pull at least one more brick from the tower, please. This will not count as a fall, or as a death, so please be gentle. The escape pod is open. You see 4 identical looking people with the same skin color as you all turn and look. They look like you. They are wearing your clothes. One of them has a long sword for a hand. And they walk towards you out of the escape pod. And they say, "Why do you fight? The end is already here. There's no use in fighting. It's already over." "Yes, it's already over, pal. It's all right." And the other one comes up to you and he goes, "It's okay. Just be happy. You had what you had." And outside the sun cracks a little bit more. And you see, impossibly from this distance, something large come out of that crack and pull a piece of the sun inward. And Roach, one comes up to you and says, "Hey, think of all the adventures I'm gonna have.
And
Living through you."
Can I push
I
in
turn-
and say, what are
to my-
you?
I turn to my double and I say, "Listen, you handsome son of a bitch. It isn't over until I say it is over." Straight through his chest.
What do you do?
I was saying, what are you? And I pushed at it.
And
I turn to Roach and say, "I have an idea. We know that the energy emitted from your hands gives them power."
you're not gonna have time to do this. He just stabbed him. She just...
Okay, so I don't say that. All I do is reverse the polarity on Roach's palms.
Through the computer system?
Through the computer system. Through my cybernetic eye.
If you do this, you will not knock the tower over, but in order to do this, it will leave you open to an attack, and you will die.
That's fine.
Alright, the two of you then, pull a brick.
Can we... Okay.
I think it was me.
Nope.
No? Okay.
Jax does this, looks at you, and through the computer system on his eye, reverses the polarity. And you realize just too late that he's staring at you as the other hand is walking up behind him and snaps his neck. And his eyes are still on you and focused on you, and the computer is still active as he slumps to the ground, and the polarity reverses in this creature and it starts to disintegrate from the other side. Like something about this polarity just manages to disintegrate this, and you realize that he was holding you up, and you are on the ground. You stab your doppelganger to look like you, and you.
And I'm zapping as I'm pushing into it.
That's
with the
right.
reverse
Yours
polarity.
disintegrates. Yours is doing that.
Stabby stab.
And it's like, cool. And we are launching ships in 5, 4,
Can
3,
we get onto the ships?
Y'all have
2,
to go.
Yeah, we have.
1.
Y'all have to.
Hold
I
on.
can't move. Y'all, it's y'all.
It's too late.
Let's see who gets on the ship.
Oh, I know what we're gonna do.
That's a great pull.
I'm really. Is it the mug thing?
You can pull 2 bricks, or you can take a drink.
There's enough room for all of you.
Nope. You can take. It's gonna be.
both have to do the same thing.
Nope. Nope.
No.
I'm never gonna force you to drink.
No. I'm gonna do a drink instead.
Tracy, that mug is not for right now.
That is not? Okay.
Finish the rest of that beer though.
Okay. That's not very much.
Trevor gets in the ship, manages to strap him in just as the door is closing. Roach manages to get in just as the door closes, and you strap yourselves in. And Hill, you are at peace. You are on the ship, and you are all watching as the chrysalis that was the giant sun finally cracks open. And you are moving away. Your ship is flying past, and other ships are flying in different directions. And you did it. You left people behind. And that's when the arm reaches out of the sun and grabs the ship.
Oh, no.
Reaches out and pulls you. The rockets are blasting on the ship itself, and it turns the ship around to look at you. And it is gargantuan. You have never been in the presence of anything this big. And it is God. It is darkness. It is the feeling of hopelessness and despair. And it is staring at the ship. What do you do?
At this point, there's nothing I can do.
Can I do anything to make the ship go faster? I mean, I'm good at making ships go faster. I mean, that's what I do.
I would say that you are able to do that from outside the ship.
Okay. Okay. All right. I can go outside the ship and I can fix this. I can go down and I can fix the wiring. I've done this before for getaways.
You jump into the pilot seat and you are steering this thing, and you throw on the rebreather, and I'm gonna need a beer.
Or a ridiculous pull.
I'm gonna need a beer.
That's 12 ounces.
Give me the beer that you used to fill that with.
Okay.
You've got the ship, and you're piloting it, and you throw on the rebreather as fast as you can, and as you crawl out onto the ship, you see the eyes turn to look at you, and you feel the back of your neck start heating up again. And you hear Bob. Hey! Hey, buddy!
Huh?
Hey, buddy! And you feel the back of your neck come on, and hey! Hey! It's time to wake up. And as the claw reaches for you, it's going to try to slam down on you as you're working on the engine, and we're going to race, and you're racing with a bit of a handicap to see if it gets to you first,
Oh, it's you versus me? Oh, crud.
or
Okay.
you manage to kick the engines off. On the count of 3. Your hands on the button. 2. Roaches live in space a long time. Let's see how long they live. 3.
Come on, Tracy.
Come on.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my
Come
God,
on,
oh
come on,
my
come on, come on, come on.
Yes! The ship takes off. You're holding on. Your one arm manages to hold on, and this thing barely misses you. And you are flying off. You are gone. You have said goodbye to this life, to this fucking prison. You have your eyes on uncovering a world full of secrets, a world full of life. You see the beach in your mind, Roach, this dark, quiet place, and then you hear Bob scream, "Wake up!" And your alarm goes off.
Oh, crud.
Hey guys, I'm really, really sorry. While everybody was sleeping, the gravity of the sun picked up, and it pulled you guys in. So I'm really sorry. I just wanted to wake up and say goodbye. And you guys all get up out of bed, and you have about 3 or 4 seconds left.
Oh, God.
3 or 4 seconds left, and you watch as the space station is pulled in to the sun, and oh, it was a dream. The entire thing, the aliens, the ship, the sacrifices. Oh, pal, it was a dream, Walton. This entire thing took place from the split millisecond that your alarm went off to right now. Fucking life, man. Fucking life. And the space station is pulled into the sun.
Bob,
Yeah.
my last moments on Earth,
Yeah.
in this universe,
Mhm.
is going to be spent cutting your fucking brain out of your fucking mainframe.
Goodbye, guys. It's
That's fine. Hey guys, don't forget, tonight it's spaghetti and movie night.
can't wait, Bob.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the second episode of Drunken Dread. This is Drunken Dread. There's no happy endings, but if there was one, it would be all of you getting one last adventure that lasted 1 millisecond of real time, but lasted about 2 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
We want to thank Firehawk very much for sponsoring the
Yeah.
second half and pledging some bits. We want to thank Astromancer also, and Jack Walk. Thank you all so much. Tonight's adventure was based off of a short story written in 1890 by Ambrose Pierce.
Wow.
And it is called An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. And it is
Should have Googled it.
it is about a Civil War soldier, and the whole story takes place in the split second that he is hung, and as he is falling to his death, has a dream in his mind that lasts about 2 hours. About the news breaking, and him getting this close to salvation. You can look it up. Written in 1890 by Ambrose Pierce. Guys, thank you so much for playing. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you had a dreadful time. We want to thank Hillary. Thank you so much for guest starring and just sitting on the sofa with us the whole time and
it's
drinking.
fine.
We want to thank Eric, Trevor, Tracy, John, and Brian. Thank you, Brian, for producing.
And Josh.
And
And
Josh,
Josh.
so
And Josh.
much. Josh, thank you so much for helping produce. Thank you all
sorry.
once again so much. And
I'm drunk.
we hope you had a dreadful time.
Me too.
We're gonna hop on
Well-
the yeah.
We'll see you soon. Jump on the voice chat on Discord. I will be posting on the Discord Common Room in the Plastered Dragon the background information for all of these characters, detailed bios, detailed information about the space station that only these guys got to see that you will now get to see. And next week is going to be fun. I only have one word for you. I've decided to get ahead of it now, ahead of time. Who's ready to go to the circus?
Shut up.
I love the circus.
I am
Drunken
excited.
Dread, episode 3.
I'm excited.
We're gonna clown around, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you in voice chat.
Bye.
Oh
See you
god, I
next
just
time.